roughly
you basic.
$2.7 million.
Right. 2.640?
Sounds about right.
Okay. Of the line items that you have here, and there's 119 line items that you provided us, 76 have not changed. That means 25% of the line items have adjustments, either decrease or increase. Can you explain that? 76 out of 119 line items
Yes.
are the same.
We came through, we adjusted for salaries and benefits as well as our debt. For the most part, you're looking at supply accounts for which we weren't going to increase anymore. All the other utilities, we didn't increase. We felt like our budget was pretty much comparable to what it should have been from last year. And again, this isn't a finished product. There may be some, we get invoices that are back, or quotes back that are more, and we may have to adjust it. But for the most part, we changed the big ticketed items, which is your personnel related costs and our debt.
And I do realize that the preliminary budget is preliminary. What we are going to be doing tonight is approving this particular one that you presented, correct?
Correct.
Or the one that
The one that's
you
been
provided.
advertised and,
Right.
correct.
Based on the review of the wage accounts, just the wage accounts, which is, I believe, 100. I believe it's 100. For 15-16 and the forecast for 17, the 2016 budget shows an increase over the actual budget of 1.249 million. If we assume a 2% increase overall with no new positions, and I would like to go back to one of your slides where you have in there, you have a secondary curriculum director.
That's correct.
Right. Has that been approved?
No.
Is that an optimistic?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How can you put into a organizational chart something that we do not have at the present time?
I don't believe that question is pertinent to this. You're asking about an organizational chart. This is about a preliminary budget where we're going to show that position in there and the salary, because we are going to present that coming forward as a need for the district for next year. So we're going to budget for that. Where it is on the organizational chart is immaterial.
So assume a 2% increase overall with no new positions. This increase should have been approximately $800,000
That's,
rather than 1.24.
it's not a 2% increase overall. A number of agreements were increased by 2%. The teachers' agreement's already been settled, and we know what that increase is gonna be. So we can't say that it's 2% flat. And it would be more than that, given that the teachers' agreement, we roughly estimate to be about 2.2, depending on the movement of people, who may retire, who you replace, so on and so forth.
But you have a $400,000 difference. Right, we could go on. The headcount report that you provided for the general fund actually shows a reduction of staff positions from the 15 to 16, from 796 to 788. Based on this, right, the above issue that I just brought up, it appears the 2016 budget figures may be off from 15-16. Now, is this wrong or skewed? Then the impact of 16-17 would be off too.
From that headcount report, you can't look at that as a total. Food service and child development are their own funds. We're only looking at the general fund. So those food service and child development numbers were in the headcount report. They're not going to impact this. And yes, we saved a number of positions from food service.
Removing those two areas, that's what you have.
That we had a reduction of, what'd you say, 14 positions?
No. 8 positions. There was a reduction of 8 positions, from 796 to 788. Okay, we could go on.
Mr. Aliota, I'm wondering if we could do the last 2 slides, and then we're gonna look for a motion and a second, and then we'll do some discussion on it. You have some very valid points. I'd like to just continue with this,
Okay.
and then we'll absolutely have some time for discussion. And I want to remind that it was approved in November, but it was approved by the previous board. There's 5 new members here, so just FYI.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so can we,
Yeah.
Mr. Hall, you want
I
to do the last
appreciate
2,
that.
right?
Yep, and we could bring it back up, actually, when it comes up during my report, because I'll be presenting the resolution at that point, so we can have more discussion at that time.
Okay, yeah, I'm not shutting you off at all, but we'll,
No,
when
I
that
understand.
comes, okay?
No, I understand.
All right.
Thank you.
Last 2 slides, just a couple things I wanted to point out. This is my 3rd go-around with the budget, with the preliminary budget, and I just want to voice my concern that we cannot continue to cut our way to a budget. I'm concerned about the cuts that have happened in the last 3 years. I've articulated some of those, starting with obviously the closing of Ridgefield and Vernondale. We collapsed the 2 administrative positions. Over the last 3 years, we have absorbed 23 teaching positions through attrition. That's actually how we were able to balance the budget. It wasn't just the closing of the schools. It was closing the schools, right-sizing the rest of the elementary district, and then redistricting that allowed us to save positions. That's really where the savings came in the closing of the schools. But we're down 23 teachers in the last 3 years. I don't know if you recall, but the board members who were here, when we were making cuts in the last couple of years, we did our best not to touch students and programs. So we looked at the central office, we looked at our DOIS department, that's the informational technology department, and maintenance. We've eliminated 6 positions there in the last 3 years. Our educational assistants and secretaries, we've eliminated 12 positions in the last 3 years. Our athletic coaching aides, there were 33 aide coaching positions that have been eliminated. We had technology integrators and coaches who were out servicing teachers and kids. We eliminated 3 positions in those areas. And as everybody knows, we don't have a TV studio, we have no PR. We eliminated those 3 positions. So those are the cuts from a staffing perspective. If you go to the next slide, we want to talk about programs, and this is where it becomes very concerning to us as an administration, the direction that we're going here. We eliminated middle school instructional support advisors in the last 3 years. We eliminated middle school reading specialists in the last 3 years. I think we eliminated all the librarians. There was one. I think there were no librarians district-wide. We eliminated driver's education. We cut back on field trips, tutoring, professional development. We eliminated high school Mandarin. We cut back on supply budgets. And most importantly, we cut technology out of the budget on a regular basis. As a result of that, we are behind with our hardware. I talked a couple months ago, maybe about 6 months ago, I rolled out that we are in the process of undergoing a 3-year strategic plan for technology that we wanted to culminate with a one-to-one initiative up at the high school. Through the course of our work and meeting just about every other week, we've come to the conclusion that we need to replace all of our hardware in K through 8. All of it. Servers, computers, thin clients. Am I missing anything? Pardon?
Some iPads.
Some iPads. They all need replaced. We came to the conclusion, and I'm going to give another presentation next month specifically about the technology strategic plan, that we have been patching it forever. We could continue to patch it, but we're not getting caught up. We need to get caught up. We need to get ahead. We need to start equipping our kids in our classroom with what they deserve, and we have to quit cutting our way to a budget. So I just wanted to put that out there as a reminder that were it not for these people working their tails off, bare bones, because we did all the cuts down here, and I'm fortunate that I have great people.